Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me and my friend Theresa Cifali. If we haven't met already, my name is Melanie Sessa. I am a network marketing leader and social media strategist, and I have the pleasure of meeting women all the time who have embraced a new passion, a new purpose later on in life. And today I'm bringing to you my friend Theresa Cifali. We met at a networking group, and Theresa is just a fantastic woman. She is a productivity strategist and business coach and co-host of the Messy Desk podcast. Her mission is to show service-based business owners how to make real progress on their goals by teaching them how to maximize their time and effort in order to create more happiness and prosperity. And I'm so honored that she would join us today. Hello, Theresa, and welcome.
Hey, Melanie. I'm happy to be here with you today. I'm
Great.
excited to talk about some of my favorite things.
Yeah, so you and I have talked about this before, and I knew that this would be so valuable for the people who are in the same boat, women who are looking for another passion or have embraced another passion, a new purpose, and want to prosper there. So tell us a little bit about where you came from as far as your journey into this new productivity strategist coach. Where were you before?
Okay, so before, I used to be, many years ago, an elementary school teacher, and then I've pivoted many times. So I was an elementary school teacher, and then my oldest daughter was born, and I wanted nothing more to be a stay-at-home mom. And so I left teaching to stay home and slowly went insane. And then I decided I needed a hobby, which led to a 20 plus year in the craft and hobby industry, which I really enjoyed having my own business. I had a lot of freedom and flexibility and not a lot of pressure to have like an enormous amount of revenue. I loved making my own money. I did very well in that field, but over that whole journey, by the time I got to the end of it, I turned into just a raging workaholic. So I was working 16 to 18 hours a day. I was generally an unhappy person, and I was ruining my most important relationships. I was exhausted all the time. I had anxiety up to here, right? So like a lot of anxiety. And no matter what I tried to do to fix all the things I was doing, I just couldn't quite get there. And there were actually several things that I realized later that were wrong that caused me to then kind of like change everything.
So share about that. What were those things? Like, what was that you realized you needed to change?
Well, when I originally started my own business, it was because I wanted to have the freedom and flexibility to do what I wanted, when I wanted to do it, with who I wanted to do it, for as long as I wanted to do it. And back then, the plan and the goal and the desire was motherhood, right? Having the freedom to be the class mom, to go on the class trips, to be here and not worry about having to deal with an employer or other stuff if one of my children were sick and needed to stay home. And as they got older and needed me less and in different ways, I kind of took on more responsibilities and grew my craft and hobby business in other ways that were just eating up all that time. And, I got into social media marketing and consulting and all these other things. And the more I did without taking anything away, the busier I got and the worse it was. So one of the pivotal moment for me was, besides the fact that I was barking at anybody that interrupted me and that I didn't enjoy any family gatherings because I was always looking at my watch going, how long do I have to really talk to people before I can go tuck in a corner with my computer, or go on vacation with my family and send them into the gift shop while I stood outside on the phone and rationalizing that if I didn't do it, who would? So it came to kind of like a head for me in 2013 when I sent my family away for a long weekend without me. They went to go visit friends. The kids really wanted to go. My husband's like, yeah, let's go. And I'm like, I can't go anywhere. And I sent them away that weekend. To make a long story short, I waved goodbye. I came up into the living room and stood in the silence of my house and just proceeded to bawl. And it was right at that moment that I said, this isn't what I signed up for. This wasn't what I wanted at all. And I knew I needed to do something different right then. So I felt frustrated and very isolated, even though I talked to people all the time. I felt unworthy, and I felt like I wasn't good enough. And why couldn't I figure it all out? So I left. I decided I needed to leave that mindset behind, and just systematically, one little step at a time, started to change some of my own habits and behaviors, so that I didn't start trying to create more time and space and squeeze the 10 hours of work into 2. And when I realized for a long time, it was a journey of, 1 step forward, 10 steps back. And then it was 1 step forward, 5 steps back. And then, 5 steps forward and 1 step back, until I really kind of like felt that noose loosen, and I could breathe again, and I was a lot more pleasant, and I was happier, and I was more productive. And at that point, that was when I realized that I needed to leave craft and hobby altogether, because I was no longer passionate about it.
Wow. That's so important. When we lose our passion, it's like waking up on a Monday and just dreading that commute. I used to be corporate, so I totally understand that when you lose your passion.
Yeah.
So when you decided to leave craft and hobby, right, you had already realized that with that vacation, long weekend away, that you missed out. And so now you're deciding to leave craft and hobby. Was it because of the skill sets that you gained from realigning your productivity that brought you into this new passion?
Yes, it was. So I'd already been acting as a mentor to other craft designers, and I was consulting with craft businesses and doing all those kinds of things. And I really enjoyed that. And if you remember, my background is in education.
Yes.
And so when I started in craft and hobby, it really started with teaching. And everything that I did was around teaching. So I was teaching craft classes, and then I went and I was mentoring and consulting, which still has that whole educational background. It's the thread that runs through me. And by the end of craft and hobby, besides fixing all the productivity and feeling like, it just wasn't enough to like inspire people through art anymore. It wasn't a big enough why anymore. And I'd gotten so far removed from teaching. I'm like, how do I get that back? And what can I do to help that brings the teaching element, the educational element? So my desire is to help people help themselves. So like, I'm not the person that comes in and tells you what to do. I'm here to help you figure out what to do, so that you are learning skills and strategies and tools that work for you, so that you can make better decisions, and you're not second guessing yourself and playing that horrible negative mind game. Is this right? Is it wrong? No, you'll feel better and have the tools to do it, so that you're not depending on other people, just on yourself.
Yeah. Having been through your course, I can totally resonate with that. The way what you taught me as far as, being able to get more out of my day, which I didn't know was possible, right?
Right.
The business, a team that I'm entering. And I really was able to find more time in my day, which, guys, time, it's our most valuable asset, right? And so you have this skill set and this way about you that just really just resonates with people, and you have just a caring heart. When did you decide to jump in and actually create this as a business? Was that back in 2013?
No, it took some time. So, I didn't get into the hole that I dug myself into overnight, and it didn't take overnight to fix it. Although I really tried. I'll be different tomorrow. And then, you have a great 20 minutes in the morning, and then the rest of the day is just shot. So, so once I was able to make real lasting, I had to fix the mindset, and I had to fix my anxiety and my frustration. I had to fix my relationships in order to like free up my mind and my energy to honestly look at what I was doing and saying, does this fulfill me? Am I on the right path? Is this what I want to be doing? And until I fixed those first things, then I was able to look at work and say, okay, this isn't what I want to be doing anymore. What is it that I want to do? And so knowing that the progress that I'd made and what I learned by fixing myself and how I went about that, it was like it wasn't until 2017 that, 2016, I started pivoting into coaching with a different niche, but I pivoted into that coaching. 2017, I got help by entering a coaching program. And within the first few months of that coaching program, actually, it was, well, the timeline on that is irrelevant, but almost immediately I was able to then say, like, okay, I need to move out of craft and hobby, and then make the decision and then start the transition.
Wow.
So
I love that you said that you had to get your mental and emotional health improved, because I'm all about that. I'm in a holistic mental wellness mission.
right.
And we can do all the things, but if we're not emotionally and mentally there, we're not going to be able to do those things well. And
Or sustain them.
Exactly.
And that's the whole thing. It's like trying to put a Band-Aid on a broken arm.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to be, and there's no shame in any of this. There are many people who've gotten, later in life to look back and say, well, whose life is this that I'm living? It's not the one that I wanted. And then today is a great day to take your first step in the direction you want to go.
I love that.
It's a long time.
So now you have an amazing productivity coaching business.
Yes.
So what have been the results of that?
Working with amazing human beings who are ready to embrace change in their lives and be happier, be more productive, do things that are effective and efficient for their business, have time for all the domains in their life, not just work, but family and self and faith. So, we have to make space around those things. Too often when we start our businesses, we're trying to fit our life into our business, and it should be the other way around. So, and so my results are working as much as I want to work, and then still feeling that I'm contributing, I'm making a big difference. I'm happier and more fulfilled in the way that I show up, and then I'm helping other people do the same.
Oh, yes, and I can 100% attest to that. So I love those results. Can you identify what the best part is of what your new journey looks like?
Sure. The best part is that I'm happier and I have better, stronger relationships with the people that mean most to me in my life because I have my priorities straight.
Oh, I can't even end that better than that. It's all about that, putting priorities and making the best use of the time. We're all given the same amount of time.
Yep.
What do you do with it? And you and I found out later in life how to do that better.
Yes.
I honor you for that, and I so appreciate you being on. Now, if people want to work with you, if people have identified that, I need to get my priorities in order and make the most of my time while building a business, how do they contact you?
You can contact me simply through email. Email me. It's Theresa@theresacifali.com. And maybe you can throw that in the comments so that, because I know my last name isn't necessarily the easiest to spell. And Theresa is with an H, but you can also search for me anywhere online. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram. You can reach out to me and directly there as well. And it's just Theresa Cifali.
Right. Awesome. And I give you my own testimonial. Theresa is great to work with, has really helped me a lot to to organize those domains of my life and to set those goals and really be so much more productive. Part of what she taught me to do has allowed me to double my income in 2 months. So I appreciate all that she's helped me to do as well. Thank you, friends. Thank you, Theresa. And please reach out to Theresa. You won't regret it. All right. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.
Bye.